Did they find the diamonds? Bridgerton again? Hello, welcome back to my channel. We are back with, you guessed it, another Bridgerton special. Woo! Good job. And today we're going to be talking about Happily Ever After. Yeah. See, look, it's got its own theme tune and everything. If you're new here, I'm Alice. We talk about books, we have chats, we might waffle a little bit, do vlogs, car vlogs, bit of lifestyle here and there. So, you know, if you're looking for someone to stick on in the background whilst you're making yourself a meal, cleaning your room, doing that task you've been putting off doing, or maybe you just want to listen to me, then I'm your gal. So consider hitting that subscribe button. We are all about try before you buy on this channel. So shop around, look at some of the other videos, and then go on. Click that button, you know you want to, and it is free, so you can unsubscribe at any time. I mean, really would hope that you don't, but if that's the way it's gonna be, you gotta go your own way. I will stop waffling as we just talked about, and if you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for your continued support. It is too hot in England today. I'm not doing it, so sorry the hair is going up. It's too hot. It's 6 AM in the morning. It's baking. I'm sweating. I'm over it, screaming, crying, throwing up, doing all that jazz. I also feel like I'm a bit more proper. Do you know what I mean? In a Bridgerton video when I've got my hair out. Yeah. Anyway, so as I mentioned, we will be talking about Happily Ever After. Now, for those of you that have read the Bridgerton books and go, what? I didn't know this book existed. Or maybe you've gone, oh, I've got it on my shelf, but I'm not too sure whether to read it. I would recommend reading it. I actually very much enjoyed this. I will say that for free. Perhaps you don't know what to expect with this book. Now, this book is full of second epilogues from all of the Bridgerton books. So, you know, at the end of the Bridgerton book, we get a little epilogue and it tells you what they've been doing, or maybe it leaves it on a little bit of a cliffhanger. Something depends on the story. Now, Julia Quinn, and I will read you this because I think it's fantastic. She wrote in her foreword, "For my readers who never stopped asking, and then what happened? And also for Paul, who never stopped saying, what a great idea." And I couldn't agree more. Obviously, you know, you want to see what happens to your characters, and I think for the most part, all of these were very welcome additions to the story. But I think she did a great job. And I do think it is a great idea. Why not? You do want a little bit more. And there is also a bonus little novella at the back about Violet. But obviously today we will not be talking about that because we are talking about the epilogue. Now, you know in Bridgerton I like to rank things, don't I? I like to tell you my favourite and my least favourite. I thought naturally I've ranked all the books. It's time to rank the second epilogues. I mean, it makes perfect sense, doesn't it? Honestly, I had a good time. It took me a while to start this book. I don't know why I was putting it off, but you know, it did take me a while. But once I was in, I was buckled, strapped. Yeah, we're gonna stop doing that, but you know what I mean. I was in for the ride. I'm trying to say, okay? Not all of the epilogues are necessarily focused solely around those two principal characters in each book, although they are always in the epilogue. Sometimes it's like a sort of side story or one of the daughters or something, which I also, again, welcome addition. It's always great to expand on the universe, and like I said, I want to read a lot more Bridgerton because I think they have the, you know, because of this Bridgerton, that series, and there's like Smith's Wives and all that. I definitely want to read more, but I need to get through my shelves first because otherwise we're gonna get overrun. People, books taking over the world. What do you know? Let's talk about ranking. Who will come out on top? Dun dun dun. I mean, maybe you'll have some guesses. Who do you think is going to come out on top? The way she's written this book, which I think is quite clever, is she gives you a page before the epilogue starts, where she basically gives you an overview and says, midway through writing, this happens. It's kind of like breaking the fourth wall in some way, and just says, but then everybody asks about this, let's address it. And then she goes into the world of the second epilogue, which I think is very clever. You know, not many people can break the fourth wall like Deadpool, haha. I think that's quite clever, quite fun. It kind of lets you know what you're getting in for. And I honestly would say, whilst I loved all the epilogues because I wanted more, I don't think you have to read this in terms of, if you're not that interested in the Bridgerton series, you've kind of finished it and you're like, oh, it's over now. I wouldn't say you need to purchase this. If you already have it, then read it at some point, because I think it's nice rounding off all the endings in certain ways. I wouldn't say you need to absolutely run and go buy it, because I think it is just a little extra information. So mine came with the sets. I think I got like 2 box sets gifts for Christmas. I think one the year before and then one last year. Mine already came with it, so I don't know whether I necessarily would have gone out and bought it. I mean, I probably would have, because we all know I'm a bit oh wow, this needs a bloody iron. Bridgerton obsessed, exposed. But I would recommend reading it just for the sake of getting a nice ending for all the characters. I mean, I know they already had nice endings, but just a little extra something, you know, treat yourself. Good times, good vibes. So let's talk about the epilogues. We're bringing out the trusty A notebook, which contains many a thing, especially to do with my YouTube. I just make notes, basically. I will be telling you my order. Dun dun dun! In last place, who do we think we have? Daphne and Simon. Yes, I know I seem like a Daphne and Simon hater. That's not the case. They don't have much going for me. I don't know how to explain it. I just don't. But I will say they shocked me in this book. I actually did enjoy them more than I did in their own book. Part of the reason was because Penelope and Colin turned up, okay? You know, Julia Quinn knew that. They needed a little bit of something in their life. I think that I didn't hate it as much. So even though it's last place, it's of quite a high caliber. Because I did really enjoy the epilogue itself. I just enjoyed the other ones more. Yes, unfortunately, we have Daphne's and Simon in last place. Sorry, guys. In 7th place, can we guess who it was? It was Benedict and Sophie. Now, I know you're going to be like, this is just the same as the other one. But it's because, again, they just don't resonate with those characters as much. I will say, again, in these epilogues, they were a lot better. They were super cute and I loved it. And I also did love their epilogue was basically giving Posey her own love story. So if you've read the books, you know that she has a half-sister called Posey. I enjoyed it. Again, I enjoyed it. These are all of a high caliber. They're just not. There's something about it, I don't know. I think it's the way she writes Benedict in the book. I just think he's a lot different. I really do like the Benedict character in the show. I'm very excited for his season. I'm excited to see what they're going to do with it as well. But I don't know, there's just something about his character. I just think he's a little bit dull compared to the other ones. I know it sounds sad, but like compared to the Bridgerton siblings, I feel like. And I kind of feel that with Daphne as well. So it wasn't my favourite, okay? And it didn't have to be my favourite, that's okay. But still very much worth the read, enjoyed it. So in 6th place, dun dun dun, we have, this is going to be a little bit controversial. We have Francesca and Michael. Now, I'll tell you for why. I very much enjoyed the epilogue. Again, high standards, high standards. I'm just not sure if I connected with their characters as much as some of the other ones. And also, their one was quite a lot in terms of, there's lots of different emotions going on. Obviously, we get that classic Francesca Michael spice. We love that for them. It's not quite the same kind of spice as ones in the books, but it's still pretty much the same level. We appreciate them for bringing that into the book, but there's just something, again, I still feel a little bit disconnected from their characters. I was very happy for them and very happy with their epilogue. Again, high standards. Just wasn't my fave. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, next up in 5th place we have controversial, unexpected from me. We have Greg and Lucy. Now, this arguably could be interchanged with Francesca and Michael, depending on the day. But I love their characters. I just think it was a little bit sappy and it was unnecessary stress. It was a little bit, you know, pitter patter. Again, great, high caliber, but I'm not sure. I think I preferred them in their book than into the epilogue. It was a little bit wet wipey. I did enjoy it. Top 4, let's go, guys. We're over halfway. In 4th place, we have Eloise and Sir Philip. Love them, iconic duo. They are ranked lower. If their epilogue had gone a slightly different way, I would have pushed them higher. However, I put them in 4th place because their epilogue was mainly centered around Amanda. And don't get me wrong, I want to know what happens with their kids and all stuff like that. But it was great. We had some great moments of Eloise being a mum, but it was dominantly Amanda's story, her finding her love. And she did have some cute moments with her mum and her dad, but I just wanted a little bit more. Just a little bit more. They were in Penn and Colin's epilogue, so that was great, but I do wish we'd had just a little bit more from them, so that is why they are 4th place. Top 3, a couple of these siblings are always up here, so exciting times. In 3rd place, and arguably this was probably the most enjoyable epilogue in the whole thing. We have Kate and Anthony. They play Pall Mall, which is an older version of croquet or a modern version. I don't know which way around it is, but I just love that. And literally Julia Quinn says in her epilogue about how everybody loves that sort of sibling rivalry they have, how there's no rules and it's the same players. I just enjoyed it. It was the most I was smiling, having a little giggle the whole way throughout. Kate and Anthony are just like perfectly each other's match, and it was so well written, it was so well balanced. I just had a great time, to be honest. So in terms of content as such, it wasn't really anything serious, so it probably should have gone a little bit lower, but I just loved the way it made me feel. It was great. It was great times. I'm giving it third place. I'm giving it third place, guys. All right. And then we always know our top two gets battled out, don't we? It gets battled out between Hyacinth and Colin. It's gonna be who's the second and who's the first. If you've read the epilogue, you'll probably know which way it will go around. If you haven't, then this is exciting news for you. In second place, we have Pen and Colin. I loved them. I specifically loved them in the Duke and I second epilogue because great time, great vibes, need to read it. I loved them together, and I love that it picked up from right after they'd got married and everything had come out about Whistledown. I loved that. But it was about her telling Eloise that she's Whistledown. And I don't know, I just wanted a little bit more. I don't know what I wanted, to be honest with you. I don't know what I wanted more from this story, but I just wanted something else. I loved it. I was here for it. It was great times. I loved Pen and Eloise's relationship that was going on. I loved Colin and his cheekiness, and I very much enjoyed it, which is why I got second place. But just to get that top spot, it just needed something more. Which brings me to first place. You guessed it, it's the OGs, H&G, Hyacinth and Gareth, my absolute favourites. They just have the perfect mix of everything. They have banter, they have that kind of loving vibe as well, and I just love them as a character. It was also a lot about her daughter as well, which I think Ray and her relationship as a mother. Obviously we wanted to know, did she ever find the diamond? And I just think that was such a good thing. Probably out of all of the books, hers was the one that needed a second epilogue the most, because that epilogue was a cliffhanger. I was like, oh my god, I can't believe it. Like, I'm reading a Bridgerton book. How have they got a cliffhanger? How have they got like a at the end of this book? It's wild. So you'll have to read it to see if she ever finds it. But I just think perfect character. She's so headstrong, she's so particular, she knows what she wants, she goes after it. And it's also cool to see how she balances that, being a mother and her daughter also being like her. Good job, Hyacinth and Gareth. Woo! Basically, the moral of the story is, if you have this book, go read it. You don't need to necessarily run to wherever you normally buy your books from to buy it, but I would very much recommend it if you're a Bridgerton fan and you want a little something extra. And it's quite nice because it's all the characters in one book. So I like to have an overall view of their absolutely mega family. There's so many people involved. Let me know if you've read this book in the comments down below. Let me know which second epilogue was your favourite. Well, without further ado, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up, smash that like button, and don't forget to subscribe. Have you subscribed? Thank you very much. And as always, until the next one, I'll see you then. Bye! And if you're it is so hot. Oh.